Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into some financial paperwork, and let me tell you, it's juicier than a hospital drama, but hopefully less dramatic for the shareholders. We're looking at Medical Properties Trust, or MPT's latest filing, and things are looking a little queasy. Ready for a whirlwind of numbers? Before we get started, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below for you to discuss this report and others with fellow finance enthusiasts. This report covers the first 3 months of 2025, ending March 31st for both Medical Properties Trust, the main company, and its operating partnership. First up, let's peek at the balance sheet. The company reports over $14.8 billion in assets, but also over $10 billion in liabilities. That's a lot of debt. Equity is at 4 times $7 billion, but digging a bit deeper reveals a retained deficit, a loss basically, of over $3.8 billion. It's a red flag we will have to keep in mind. Now let's move to the income statement. Revenue clocks in at $223.7 million, but expenses eat away most of it, leaving a net loss of an $18 million, or $18 million, or ORR $18 million, or 0.20 cents per share. Ouch! The previous year wasn't much better, showing a whopping $75 million loss. Looking closer at what made up the 2025 Q1 loss, the company had a gain of about $8 million on real estate sales, but a big however, with real estate impairment charges totaling $76 million. These are write-downs reflecting properties that aren't worth what they once were. Basic weighted average shares outstanding remained roughly the same compared to 2024. The statement of comprehensive loss paints an even grimmer picture with unrealized losses from interest rate hedges and foreign currency translations. Equity has decreased by roughly $70 million since the end of 2024. Switching gears to cash flows, the company only generated a pittance $84,000 from operating activities, a huge contrast with $74 million in the previous year. Investing activities used up over $89 million. Financing activities provided $426 million, mainly from taking on more debt. Now let's take a super quick look at the results for the MPT operating partnership. It roughly mirrors what we saw for the parent company, with a net loss and similar trends. The balance sheets for both Medical Properties Trust Inc. and MPT Operating Partnership are nearly identical. The income statements are also similar, with gains, losses, and expense figures. The cash flow statements are similar. They made about $0 million and paid off about $118 million. Let's shift our attention to the notes. These are where companies clarify some of the numbers and reveal key assumptions and judgments. MPT is structured as a REIT, or real estate investment trust, meaning it generally avoids corporate income tax provided it distributes most of its income to shareholders. The REIT status hinges on investing in, owning, and leasing healthcare real estate. One critical accounting policy that MPT highlights involves judgments and estimates for real estate assets and loans. When things are uncertain, it might become difficult to calculate these and make them accurate. Alright, here's where it gets interesting, digging deeper into key activities. MPT talks about some new investments. During the first quarter of 2025, MPT paid approximately $39 million towards securing real estate assets from Steward Healthcare, a former major tenant that has experienced financial distress. This was an opportunistic acquisition. Also, the report mentions active selling some other properties. They also continued development projects such as a behavioral health facility. They talk about the revenue earned from operations, but it wasn't enough. A few share-based compensation, a small gain on real estate, and significant impairment charges. Lastly, Medical Properties Trust mentions risk factors. This is where you have to pay attention. They're facing securities class action lawsuits alleging misstatements about the health of tenants. These could get expensive, and it's never good for a company's reputation. Now, stepping back from the immediate details, it's pretty clear MPT is navigating some serious turbulence. The loss from impairment shows real trouble with some past investments, especially concerning Steward and Prospect. While they've made strides in re-tenanting some properties, the transition isn't immediate and rent is only gradually ramping up. MPT also has to give loans to their tenants in hopes of making revenue back later. The large debt load coupled with declining revenues puts a big squeeze on their finances, and the legal challenges add another layer of uncertainty. On the positive side, MPT is actively managing the problem, re-tenanting and selling off assets to improve its cash position. A bit of good news is that some of the major litigation got dismissed. In conclusion, I think MPT is at a crossroad. They're working hard to course correct, but they need a bit of luck, excellent tenant performance, and for interest rates to start behaving themselves. What do you think of this analysis of MPT? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if this breakdown was valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.